I've been sewing my own clothes for a very long time, but I feel like I've been sewing pieces that felt safe, that kind of let me blend in, and where I didn't stand out too much. The problem with that is that along the way, I feel like I lost myself. Like I don't feel like myself because in my mind, I have all these creative ideas and all this creative vision of what I want to feel like. So I've been kind of working at this for a very long time. And I finally decided that I'm done blending in. I really want to bring out that creative imagination that I have whenever I sit down and I start thinking about what do I want to make next. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be making some basic pieces because I love comfort. I really want to feel comfortable, but I want to do it where I can make things that are basic but with a twist. Essentially, I want to make pieces that make me feel something happy, adventurous, but most importantly, I want to make things that make me feel like my creative self. I've been following Becca Berk on YouTube, and she uses Notion to organize her projects. She recently put together a template, and I bought it. I love a section of her template that she calls the Dream Self Journal. And I thought this would be such a wonderful tool for me to use to figure out how to get my personal style back on track. So I wanted to make this video to show you how I'm using this Notion template. I've already started working with it and I am so excited about how things are coming along. I'll put a link to Becca's information below in case you're interested in checking out this Notion template, which I highly recommend. Okay, so I'm going to start off by showing you what the template actually looks like when you first purchase it. This is how it came when I purchased it. It pretty much has the images that Becca kind of left from how she created hers. And it has, you can open this up on your phone if you want to make changes to it, but I like to do it on the desktop. So it has all of the different sections of what comes with a Notion template. But here is the actual kind of like the front page. So as I mentioned before, I made a few changes already. So this is what mine is starting to look like. I'm so excited about the way that this looks. Every time I open it, I get inspired because it just reflects my imagination, what I see, what I envision whenever I start thinking about designing something. So obviously, for those that know you, I'm a sparkle girl. And so when I saw this image, it just gives mystery and a little bit of sparkle. And that is just 100% me. So I changed the name of the page, obviously. And then these are the images that I've kind of already started to add to make it my own. This is my favorite so far, this section here, where you refine your style and define your direction. These images I got from Pinterest. Oh my gosh, they are exactly what I envision that represents my personal style. This is an image of one of my inspiration boards in my studio, and obviously this is my workspace. So I mainly want to talk about two sections of the Notion template in this video: the Dream Self Journal and your Style Archetype, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to open up the Dream Self Journal, and again, I changed the image, add a little bit of sparkle there. So basically, she goes in to kind of explain what the section is. And then she added some of these questions that will help you figure out what your self journal is going to look like, because it really gets you thinking, right? So how do I want to feel? Push beyond obvious answers like confident, be more specific. So I kind of started already answering some of these questions. When I get dressed, how do I want to feel? Happy, adventurous, strong, but comfortable.
what outfits have made me feel the most like my best self, anything with sparkle, obviously, what feels missing from your wardrobe right now. Interesting details, sequin for day to day, fabric texture with embroidery or cutouts, ruffles, familiar silhouettes with unexpected fabrics. Those are the first few things that immediately came to mind as I was trying to answer this question. So I still have quite a few questions to answer here. So I have what does put together look like in my real life? I haven't answered that quite yet because what I thought was put together for me has changed. It's not how I want to look anymore. So if that makes any sense, I'm kind of rambling here. But I have to think about that a little bit more. What's holding me back? Um, so, what stops me from dressing the way that I want to, standing out, too much attention? And that is an honest answer. It was hard for me to write that down because it kind of it kind of forces you to dig deep into reasons why you do the things you do, why you act a certain way. But that's another video, and that kind of goes into the psychological things. But she has a great point here. Sometimes the gap between your real wardrobe and your dream wardrobe has less to do with clothing and more to do with mindset or habit. And I think that's it for me. So, do I default to safe clothing? If so, why? It's all I've been sewing, and familiarity of what is in my closet has become easier. So basically, I just go to my closet and kind of grab and go because they pretty much it's the same stuff. I just recycle them over and over again. What style risks am I drawn to, but I'm too scared to try? Goth glam. Who would have thought? But it's a hint of goth glam with a pop of color and a touch of femininity. I'm still trying to figure it out. I It gets me really excited when I put it down and I read it because it's helping me push myself out of my comfort zone. And then I still have to work through these. What does my real life need? My personal outfit formula, and then the dream self summary. So here she talks about what themes repeated throughout this exercise: the fear of being perceived, tensions between practical and beautiful, worthiness, identity, self expression, wanting to feel put together, learning to trust your own taste, healing your relationship with your body, etc. I mean, I can't even imagine how a better way of putting it to really make you think about how you want to feel in your clothes. So I have to work through all of this, but I kind of wanted to show you where I'm starting. I'm starting with this dream self journal because all of the things that I've made for years now, like I mentioned before, are very feel very safe, very like I'm blending in. But what I dream about, the wardrobe that I dream about, the pieces that I dream about, have a bit of loudness to them in a way. And I know that it's going to stand out. But that's okay because as long as I feel happy in what I'm wearing, that's all that matters. So the next thing that I have been working on, and by the way, I've used Notion before. So this has been kind of easy for me to navigate. Um, but if you haven't used Notion before, it's pretty simple. And you can always watch a few YouTube videos about how to use Notion, and that should help. Um, I have I have pages here for my content planning. I even use it as a database where I have gone through trainings like how to create digital sewing patterns, and I've created notes on some steps that I want to remember, and I want it all in one place, and I've done that here. But anyway, so let me go back to my main page, and I'm going to go to the Your Style Archetype. The reason why I wanted to do this as my second step is because this is where you kind of figure out what your style archetype is. And I think it's important if you're really trying to figure out what your style aesthetic is. And again, I've changed the images. I found this image of these beautiful flowers with a little bit of sparkle. So here she has, this is helpful for defining your style and creating a very cohesive wardrobe. Plus, it's just fun. So the instructions are to choose your top 2 to 3 archetypes that you want to reflect in your wardrobe based on browsing the photos below and taking the following quiz. So the archetype, when you first open the template, when you purchase it, the order in which these are listed is different only because I've already gone through the exercise and I figured out what my top 3 are, and I moved them to the very top of the list. The only thing I have left to do is replace these images with my own images. So these are all the images that came with the template, and each archetype has its own image. And as you can see, the Huntress is one of my top 3, and I made a slight change because I don't want any of my pieces to feel practical. I actually gravitate towards things that are impractical. So I just changed it to comfortable. And again, this is the beauty of it all. You can edit this and make it your own. So quickly, I want to go through the steps for figuring out your archetype. So you answer the questions based on instinct, not overthinking. Choose 2 to 3 options per question that feel most like you. Most of us won't fit neatly into one category. So here I answered all the questions, the version of you that feels most natural. When I get dressed, I want to feel, and then you pick your 3. Which outfits do you reach for the most? If you could leave tomorrow, where are you going? What do you wish your wardrobe felt like? What do you feel the most like you? Which of these just pulls you in? And which friend are you in your group? This was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. And I try really, really hard to not overthink it because I'm definitely an overthinker. But this is here what my results were. So basically, my archetypes that showed up most often after I added everything together with the selections that I made, the ones that showed up most often were Mystic and Huntress. And then my top archetype, I'm selecting Mystic. My fantasy self will also be Mystic. And my real life default is Huntress. And then it says which ones do you want to build your wardrobe around? And that's where I selected Mystic, Femme Fatale, and Huntress. You are allowed to outgrow the version of yourself people are used to. I love this so much. So let me real quick update the images, and I will then come back to why I chose these 3 based on what those images look like. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so let's go real quick. The Mystic, dark, moody, and mysterious. This is definitely so me. Sequin, of course, and I want to normalize wearing sequin on your day to day. So if I want to wear a sequin to the grocery store, I am going to wear a sequin to the grocery store. Leather looking warrior princess. Oh my gosh, that's definitely up my alley. I love that. I love a little bit of mystery. I love texture on fabric. I'm definitely going to make a version of this. I'm going to take just plain sheer like tulle fabric. I do have an embroidery machine and I plan on embroidering it myself. Wish me luck on that because it's going to be a lot of work. Femme Fatale, sexy, glamorous, and bold. Now, let me go back to here. This gives a full on goth glam with a touch of femininity. And that's the point I wanted to make. I wanted to show you these images just to kind of give you a hint of what I mean by a hint of goth glam with a pop of color and a touch of femininity. So that is totally me. That's why it's on the very, very top of the list. The Femme Fatale is sexy, glamorous, and bold. So these are the images that I found. Very girly like, but definitely bold and adventurous and a little daring, if I may say so myself. The Huntress is the sporty, not practical, that's not me, but instead comfortable and casual. And this is where I want to start working on my basic pieces, my classic silhouettes, but with a twist, right? So I love this little idea of an outfit where it's just jeans with a top, but I want to work on, I don't know if that flower could be appliques or embroidery, or just use scraps that I have laying around to create that flower. But my creative juices are already flowing with just that one image. I love this bomber jacket here because the fabric is what really gets my attention. It's a bomber jacket, but it's on with sheer fabric. I love, love, love just that the fact that is not practical because when you wear a jacket, you wear it because you want to be warm. Yeah, not me. This off the shoulder ensemble here, I mean, oh my gosh. The details on this thing are just truly amazing and it's something that really really inspires me to like think outside the box and create something that's unique. So those are my top three. I'm so excited to keep working with this template. And just to show you what the other archetypes are, the queen, which is powerful, formal, regal, the maiden, bright, colorful, and youthful, the lover, which is whimsy, feminine, and dainty, the sage, which is natural, grounded, and outdoorsy, the classic, which is simple, neutral, and minimal. I may just leave these here for now, but eventually I may decide to just delete those rows because they don't really apply to me. But for now, I'm just going to leave them there. So again, if you're really looking to get your inspiration and your projects organized, I honestly and truthfully recommend you to at least check out this template. It's crazy how sometimes you're working on something and you start putting it out there, and then all of these things start showing up that you can use to help you along the way during that journey or that process. And this is definitely one of those things. I am so happy that Becca decided to create this template when she did, because this is going to be a game changer for me. I can open this and I don't care what type of a mood I'm in. This is just going to get my creativity going and start planning my next project. I will definitely put all of the links and all of the information for Becca below, and check out her YouTube channel. Her videos are amazing. So that's what I've worked on so far. I have so many other sections that I need to work on. If you want me to make a video showing you how I'm updating the different sections in this template, let me know in the comments below. And I will start sharing more videos on that.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you subscribe because I'm going to make more videos that will take you along this journey of creating pieces that feel like myself and push me out of my comfort zone. Until next time, happy sewing!